I think you should focus more on execution and not be a numbers game. For example, right, when the project comes out, for example, for cleaning, they focus on how many people we need to get, how many voters we need to get on the system, instead of focusing on the execution. That's the outcome that is needed, because there's a lot of illegal dumping in our townships that is not, if I could say, taken seriously as much as the people who are put on the system. So I think we should focus more on the execution and less on the numbers.
I would advise you to be truthful in everything that you're going to say, especially in job creations, in service delivery, hospitals, everything else. I'd advise you to be truthful and keep your promises.
Firstly, on unemployment, and it seems like it's intentional. And I would like to also touch on security, safety and security, and the way how the SAPS or the police or the defense force, how they operate. It's like they are destroying the country instead of saving the country through operating with foreign mafias who own drug cartels in South Africa. That is what Umkhwanazi is dealing with currently, of which is I support Umkhwanazi. And I plead with the president to just step down and allow others to have a chance so that our country can be in the right state. Because we cannot, you cannot run a country like on your pocket.
I would like the president to address the GB violence, because opening social media, it's so sad to see the different all the murders that's happening and things like that, especially coming from the Cape Flats, you know. You see those things every day, and for children to grow up and thinking that is the way of life, it's so sad. Also, they should try to invest in small businesses to create job opportunities. So that it can employ the youth as well, so that they don't need to be on the streets and think that that is life.
Can we look at private institutions, right? We have people outside here that are private that are actually doing the service themselves. So if we can look at private institutions that are doing that service itself and maybe focus on that, that would also be good, all right? And in regards to what we want as a people, I wouldn't put it as much to the president, but ourselves. Can we also take initiative in what we do? You know what I mean? We ask for service to be delivered, but yet we are out here doing the bad things. Like we pollute, and we don't take care of our places itself. So we can begin there.
My advice is very simple. Go into the townships, go into the cities, and find out what's actually a problem, what actually needs to be attended to, because I can promise you there is a lot that we need. Things like sewages, things like road maintenance, things like we don't even have street lights anymore. It's dark, you know, at night. You don't really see where you're going. So there is a lot to do. But my best advice and my best approach is to actually go into the cities and actually see for yourself the things that are needed.
I think what he has to do, he has to close the borders. He must control the borders, because at the moment there are no borders. Borders are not controlled, and there is an influx of whereby we're having a lot of undocumented residents who are in the country, who are consuming for something that they are not paying for, and then they just come, they take tax, and they take second, one other thing that he has to do, I think he must make sure that he controls safety. There's no safety in the country. The country is very much unsafe, and as the country is unsafe, it makes it difficult for the country to be attracting the investments.
But firstly, we need to address the corruption at the top. For you to get rid of the rotten at the bottom, it starts at the top. The decision makers, especially his advisors, they should be putting forth such initiatives as to how can we get rid of corruption. But more importantly, how can we prioritize young people and the disabled communities, putting them out there, ensuring that we include them in the economy. But also how we can also look at the forgotten middle, the missing middle. These are young people that are not in any educational or employment activities, and they form part of the general public. And I think if we can look at those areas, that would be my first point of departure as to advising the president on his address.
My advice would be the president must focus on the youth, and then he must also focus on the rural areas informal settlements so that everyone is included. They should not focus on the big cities only and then forget about the like the other place. And the most important thing is they must make sure that we all have, like, water is very important, because every day there's a crisis of water. Ever since I grew up watching TV, every day on the news there's water, I'm 30 years old now, but always there's one problem of water, and that's the most important one.